Yes. Oh, Loveland, Ohio. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today we are having a class on vision boards and intention setting. I'm Megan, and I'm going to be leading your class today. I work for Michaels and my partner Felicia here. We're both Michaels employees. We're both happy to be here. We both love crafting. So we're happy to have so many people with us live. Thank you for coming. Those of you who are here with us live, we do have a PDF. I went ahead and put together a reflection sheet to really kind of take our time and be intentional about what we want to do to reflect and what we want to kind of manifest in 2025 and what we want our visions, dreams, goals for the future to be. So if you have access to a printer, you can go ahead and print out this PDF. If you watch this video later on when it's on YouTube, the link to this PDF will also be underneath the video, so you'll be able to access it again. Now, if you don't have time or if you don't have a printer and you're not able to do that right now, go ahead and find yourself a scrap piece of paper or anything that you want to write on. The materials that we're going to be using today are very fluid. So just basically anything you can find in your house to use would be great. I have some suggestions, but please go ahead and interchange them with all different kinds of ideas that you might have. I'm going to be using a big foam board piece from Michaels. They come in packs of 3, so maybe if you want to grab a couple of friends and do this project together, that could be really fun. If you don't have the foam board, you can go ahead and just maybe take any kind of piece of paper. You can take cardstock. I have plenty of Amazon boxes at my house. I don't know if you guys are like that too. You could probably rip up a couple Amazon boxes and have something really nice, a good surface for you to work on. I also went ahead and got a paper pad from Michaels. So there's lots of different colors, lots of different things. You don't have to have the same paper pad I have. You can have any extra scrap paper from paper projects that you may have done in the past. Even if you have something like construction paper, sometimes it's fun to have a little bit of construction paper just to kind of lay down a basic background behind everything we're doing, and then kind of let the words and pictures and things that we're trying to envision for ourselves kind of lay themselves out onto this beautiful board. And then what's fun about a vision board is, like, I like going back at the end of a year, and this was my vision board from last year. And so you can tell that I was trying to manifest a new puppy in my life. I had lost my dog in the past year. And so I was really trying to find that perfect match for me and kind of work on some of those things. Also, kind of improving my home and making it into a place where I want to invite friends and have lots more people come over. So just some of those things that I can be proud of that I was able to do, or things that might need to get pushed on to 2025 that I'm still working on too. So all of those things are here for us. We're going to kind of take this class as the first part be a lot of reflection. So like I said, go ahead and grab some paper and get ready to sit down with your own thoughts and kind of get into your own self. But I also want to kind of talk to you about some of the crafty part of this, since it is a Michaels class. One of the classes I've taught previously is a class on something called junk journaling. So junk journaling is scrapbooking meets mixed media, and it's basically just taking stickers, paper, magazines, pens, pencils, all kinds of things, and kind of putting them together. I love flipping through a good junk journal and kind of figuring out where I was at the time, what I was thinking about, what kind of messages I might have needed for myself, some affirmations, some different things, maybe trying to work something out, or maybe just having fun. So junk journals are great, and we have lots of different cool materials that you can use in order to create your own junk journals. Check out this fun collage. I just like taking pictures from magazines and kind of figuring out what it all means, and having stickers and die cuts and watercolor and all different sorts of things. So if you've never been to a Michaels online class before, I teach on Thursdays and Fridays, and I teach anything from crocheting and hand knitting to paper crafting to painting to all sorts of things. So Thursdays and Fridays, we always have something new for you. There's lots of other exciting instructors at Michaels too that can teach you all about food crafting or knitting or something even more niche or exciting for you. So please check out our michaels.com classes page so that you can sign up for lots of different kinds of classes. So the handout is coming through the chat. There's a PDF link to it, but if you don't have it, that's okay. Just go ahead and find a paper And I'll be reading the questions out loud and kind of giving you some time to think about it. You'll see some of the other vision boards that I've kind of done in the past, just as like a little reference. But we are about to start the reflection part of the class. So if you need me to repeat something, Felicia and I can work on getting that to you in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So take a couple of good deep breaths and really center yourself and try and figure out what it is that we want for ourselves and possibly for the world in this next year. So the first question I have on my 2025 vision board sheet is, what is your favorite feeling? So think about what your particular favorite feeling is. I'm going to leave this blank one up here and I'm going to be filling out my own off to the side. What is a feeling that you want to have more of in your life? What is your favorite feeling to kind of experience? And then the next question is to list a couple of things that make you smile. And if at any point anyone wants to share anything in the chat, of course, this is deeply personal, but if you want to, or if you would like to share something or something comes to mind, feel free to share that in the chat if you're comfortable. Maybe list at least 3 different things that make you smile. And then start thinking about more like animals and people and beings that you enjoy being in the presence of. So who are some of your favorite people? What are some of your favorite animals? Or maybe even where are some of your favorite places? Next, we're going to think about 3 things that you want or desire. And these can be as deep or as surfacey as you want. It might be something simple, something material that you're hoping for, or it could be something even deeper and more meaningful in what you want in your heart rather than just in your house. Or it can be a combination of both of those, but what are 3 things that you want or desire? Okay. If anyone needs me to repeat anything on that first page, I'm happy to do that. We asked ourselves about our favorite feeling. We listed a couple of things that make us smile. We made a list of a few of our favorite people, animals, or even places. And then at least 3 different things that you want or desire. And that can be as serious or as light as you want it to be. Now on the next section, I've broken down some of these goals and things that we think about in different portions of our lives into different kind of categories. So we have a personal growth and well-being category, something about careers or ambitions, if that's relevant to you, relationships and connections, creativity and self expression, and adventure and exploration. So, if some of these are things that you want to dig deeper into, feel free to. Or if they're things that you think might not apply to you, maybe you can just write about some of the other things that you're really interested in for 2025. So, in this personal growth and well being section, the first question says, in what areas of my life do I want to experience the most growth? And then the next question takes quite a bit of thought, or maybe it doesn't. What are the core values that define who you are and help guide your decisions? Is there something that drives you when you're making a decision or coming up with a plan for your life that you're always falling back on? Is it your faith? Is it your morals? Is it a standing? Is it a status? What is it that kind of defines who you are and how you make a decision? If you're making a tough decision, how do you go about doing that? What things are important to you? And then for our next section on career and ambition, if you're maybe not in a career track right now, or if you can always think about this just in terms of ambitions in general, or things that you want to improve, or things that you want to work on. So, what are your career goals for the next year? So, if you're a caregiver, or if you're at home, or if you are in a job of some sort. Is it the job you want? Is there somewhere else you want to go with this? Do you want to get out of your job? Do you want to retire? What are your career goals? Also, think about, are there any skills that you need to acquire, maybe in order to accomplish this particular goal, or just to further yourself in whatever it is you feel that your career or kind of your ambitions guide you towards? Now we're going to go into thoughts about our relationships and connections with other people. So, the first question for that is, what kind of relationships do I want to cultivate in my life? So, think about what you want these relationships to look like, or even what relationships you want there to be in your life if maybe they're not there yet. So the question before that was in careers and ambitions, and it was, what skills do you need to acquire for your career and ambitions? And now in the relationship section, we're asking ourselves, what kind of relationships do I want to cultivate? We have some people that have just joined us. So right now we're kind of taking some notes and doing some reflections. So the question that we're talking about right now is in our relationships, and what kind of relationship do I want to cultivate in my life was the first question. And the next question in this category is, how can I be more present and supportive in my interactions with others? How can I be more present and supportive in my interactions with others? So this document is available. There's a link in the chat that you can click on to grab the PDF. If you don't have time to grab that right now and you want to come back to that, when we post this online on YouTube, there'll be a link underneath the YouTube video that will also have the PDF link. So if you can't get it now, just take yourself some notes. We're gathering some thoughts and feelings and reflecting on where we are, where we want to be. And we're going to use all of these, of course, in our vision board. So the last question in our relationship and connection section says, what steps can I take to strengthen my existing friendships and build new ones? What steps can I take to strengthen my existing friendships and build new ones? That last question was, what steps can I take to strengthen my existing friendships and build new ones? And then we have two more sections on our worksheet. One section about creativity and self-expression, and we have another section on adventure and exploration. So in the creativity section, we can ask ourselves, in what ways do I want to express my creativity? And it doesn't have to be a way that you already are. It can be anything. And I really want you to broaden your idea of creativity. It doesn't have to be paints and colors and markers. It can be spreadsheets. It can be writing. It can be lots of things. So don't limit yourself. In what ways do I want to express my creativity? And along those same lines, are there any projects, crafts, or hobbies that really excite you? Are you really into wood burning? Or are you really into baking or painting or creative writing? What are some of those projects, crafts, and hobbies that you really get excited about? And in our adventure and exploration section, we have a question that asks, what new experiences do I want to pursue? And it doesn't have to be bungee jumping and whitewater rafting. It can be just going out of the house and getting together with friends for coffee, but what kind of new experiences do you really want to pursue? And maybe also think about how can you step outside of your comfort zone? Is there one or two places that you're willing to kind of push your comfort zone a little bit further and that you would be willing to try this year in order to step a little bit further outside of that comfort zone? And then if there's any other categories you can think of that we haven't covered or any other things that you definitely want to show up in the next year in 2025, any thoughts, feelings, leftover ideas, you can put them into this last box. In the adventure and exploration, the last question was, how can I step outside of my comfort zone? And once you've answered that, you can add anything else you want to the bottom of this page. Any goals, dreams, intentions, things you want to manifest. There's definitely something to be said for writing goals down and then speaking them out loud. And then one more further step towards them coming true is actually putting them up somewhere that you can see and kind of be reminded of. So that's the intention behind our vision board, is to kind of give us some of these little guide marks and some of these little bits of wisdom that we've just kind of pulled out of ourselves through this reflection in order to kind of give us a map of how to get there, where we're trying to go, all of those different things. So I'm going to take a piece of foam board, and I like to start my vision boards with kind of like, I don't like an empty canvas. I like to have some of this covered and some of this filled. So a lot of artists that I watch on Instagram and TikTok and different places too, they might start a painting and just to not be intimidated by a blank canvas, they might just write a word or an intention across the board and then start filling it up with paint. And you don't ever even see that word in their final product, but just to kind of get away from the blank canvas that could be possibly intimidating. They like to do things like that. So in my kind of version of that, I'm going to take some paper. This is a night sky paper pad. There's also an academic paper pad that I really liked that had like little library cards and different things in it too. So I'm just going to find a couple of pieces of kind of like solid backing papers, maybe some constellations. Um, and I'm just going to kind of take some paper. If you don't have any paper pads, you can always use construction paper, or you can just kind of paint or color or give yourself some kind of backdrop. But what I'm going to do is take probably about 4 pieces of 12 by 12 paper and kind of tear them up and make some different sections on my board. And if you don't have magazines, another good idea, something we all probably have, is junk mail or ads or things like that too. So don't be afraid of using something like this just to grab some color and just to grab some background to put down. And then we will start covering it with some of these words and intentions and images that are going to help us remember. So I like to tear my paper, and I'll both tear up and I'll tear down in order to kind of give me some of this white paper rim and some of it's hidden just because I like that kind of thing. I like being able to see some of the rips, and I like some of the rips being able to be hidden. And I'm just going to kind of rip up and down a couple of these pieces into maybe 5 pieces each. And all that I'm doing right now is I am creating some different places to put some of this information I was just reflecting on. So if you don't have paper, you can always kind of section off your vision board with different colors of marker or construction paper. Or maybe you're writing in one color pen and you switch to another color pen in some of the different sections. And then I'm going to be using a couple of different adhesives. One of my favorites right now looks like this. It's a multi dual tip kind of adhesive. So on one end, it has this big, thick piece to lay down almost like a glue stick. And then on the other end is a more fine tip kind of thing if you need something very intricate or a very small piece. So this is one of my favorite adhesives right now to kind of use. Any kind of glue, any kind of, I also use a lot of these rollers that have adhesive in them. So this is a Recollections, just kind of lay down some of that adhesive on the back so that I can then go ahead and stick it down onto my foam board. So any of these or any of the glues or glue sticks that you happen to have already in your house, I'm just laying down some backdrop. And 16 by 20 is a pretty big size. So if that feels overwhelming to you, go ahead and cut that foam board in half. And you can try starting on a smaller size. If this is your first vision board, this might be a little overwhelming to you. Yeah, definitely. And we will put up this class on YouTube as soon as we can. So if you're enjoying this, or if you want to take a little bit more time with your reflection, then I would love for you to come back and watch this video on the Michaels YouTube channel and maybe share it with a couple of your friends. So like I said, this foam board comes in packs of 3. So I think that would be awesome to grab a couple of other people, share that foam board, grab a paper stack or 2. I find that this glue tends to do really well. I've done all the different projects that you've seen in my junk journal with this one particular glue stick. So it has lasted me quite a bit, lots of different projects. You'll see me start to overlap some of my different paper. And you can hopefully pick out any of your favorite colors or backdrops, or maybe you're not using a paper stack. Maybe you actually have pictures. You have pictures of your family, you have pictures of your dogs or your cats, or the things that are important to you or that you really want to keep in the forefront of your mind. Maybe you have a note somebody wrote you and you want to use that to remember how great you are. Ooh, yes, please rip up some old watercolor paintings. I love that idea. And one of the reasons why I like to do this backdrop, besides just getting rid of my blank canvas, is also if I want to kind of think about putting some of the personal growth career things in one of these sections, putting some of the adventure creativity in another. I like having different sections to kind of work on since we have so many different facets of our life. And we also, if you haven't already found it, on Instagram, we have a page called Learn with Michaels. And Learn with Michaels is the Instagram that specifically focuses on all of our classes and projects and inspiration. So please follow us if you're not already. And if you are able to make a vision board and it's something that you're willing to share, we would love for you to tag us at Learn with Michaels and show us your vision board and show us what you were able to make with this class. Yes, I love the idea of doing this with a mom, doing this with even some kids. You can do a different version with your teenagers. I was a classroom teacher for about 17 years before I started working with Michaels. So I used to teach math to middle school and high school students. I often tell myself if I can teach seventh graders algebra, I can do anything. But yes, I think middle schoolers would love this project for sure. Also like the idea of kind of couples doing it together and kind of aligning and getting on the same page for some of your family goals and different things for the year. My goal is never really perfection. It's really just kind of getting something on the paper to get myself started. And then don't stop until you feel pretty good about it. There are always things to add, things to change. Cindy knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure all you parents out there think too, if you can potty train a toddler, you can do anything because that is not an easy feat either. Oh, I almost forgot about this constellation paper I really like. We have about an hour together today. We still have about 20 minutes left to go. So we are going to kind of take our time and just kind of spend some workshop time together. Feel free to ask me questions in the chat or add anything you'd like to add to the group. Let them know what some of your visions and goals for this feature might be. But even after we're done, after our hour together, feel free to keep really leaning into this and taking that time for yourself for some quiet reflection and just some fun exploration and creativity. Yes, old greeting cards. I agree. And I actually pulled out a bunch of my Christmas cards because not only do the Christmas cards sometimes have different sayings on them that I like, but I like having like the signature of a friend or someone that I really love and care for. I love having that part of them and being able to kind of put that together too. So remember on our reflection sheet, we were thinking about the people who are most important to us. Wouldn't it be lovely if you have their handwriting or a little message from them that you can put onto your vision board too? I find that a lot of times the people that I love the most are people I want to be like also. So that can help me with my vision of who I want to be in the coming year also. Oh. Yes, I love the idea of the handwriting.
Hey Megan,
And
there was a quick question asking if the poster board could be painted with acrylic paint.
yes, it
What
is
was
a
your
little
thought?
bit glossy. And so if you do paint it, I think it's going to leave a little bit of streaking. And I do think that you'll need to let it dry completely before you mess with it, or else it's probably going to shift around on you. So if you do have gesso, that's a great suggestion. Hope, thank you. Cover the board with gesso just to kind of give yourself a base coat before you start painting on top of it. So another question was, do you have suggested questions for a kid, for a 10-year-old? I think the first side of the sheet that we did is really great for anyone. So it's lovely to ask a child what is their favorite feeling, because they honestly may have never thought of that before. Having them come up with those things that make you smile, their favorite people, their desires. I think just that first page in general is great for any age group. And then it kind of depends when it comes to career and ambitions and personal growth and things, that might be for a little bit of an older group, but I think that first page is definitely a really good idea too. All right, I have kind of created myself some different sections, some different places to play with. So at this point, I am going to go back to my reflection sheet, and I don't have to go through question by question and fill out all my answers. And I don't even have to be so straightforward about my answers. You can come up with images, you can up with words that represent these feelings that are going up too. So keep that in mind, that you can go through. And I know that I said one of my favorite feelings is definitely that overwhelming laughter feeling. Especially, I don't know if any of you have ever seen not fried green tomato, steel magnolias. Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. They always talk about that in there. So if you have some kind of emotion that you want, maybe you don't write the word laughter, or maybe you do write the word laughter. If you're thinking about writing words, you can, of course, find letters and kind of do a little serial killer, like little collage of letters and write your own words. I also love flipping through some of the different sticker books. So the sticker book that I suggested in our things today, not only does it have some stickers that have some cool sayings and thoughts that might kind of match up with some of your goals and some of your visions, it also has these teeny tiny word stickers, kind of like that magnetic poetry when that was great back in the day. So you can kind of take some of those words and cut them apart and make it into different thoughts that fit your particular feelings. But they also have a lot in these sticker books that are these sweet little frames with some lines on them. So then you can take a permanent marker and you can write out some of the things that you want to put onto your vision board on these stickers. But if all else fails and you can't find something that really represents that thing, then of course just take any kind of piece of paper, take any kind of pen, any kind of marker, and just go ahead and create that for yourself. So if you can't find the perfect sticker or the perfect thing that says laughter, or whatever it is that you're trying, if you can't find a Mr. Bean who makes you laugh, then maybe you could draw your own. So feel free to kind of use all your different resources and create things that don't yet exist, and then you can put them down. When I start getting into this portion after my backdrop, I usually don't glue things down until I'm kind of have lots of things going on, so that I can still move them around a bit too. So another suggestion that just came up in the chat is wrapping paper. And absolutely, what a great idea to kind of back your whole entire paper with craft paper or with wrapping paper. But I love just covering the blank space, because even if we want to start over a year fresh, there are things that come from last year into this next year, whether we like it or not. So we don't always get a fresh start, but we can still make it fresh or make it our own in the way that we're arranging our lives, or in this case, our vision board. So come up with some of those different things, different people. I'm going to start flipping through some stickers and some magazines. I definitely want to have a year of some personal growth, really doing some work on myself in order to have a lot more self-worth and self-value, kind of realizing some of those gifts and potentials that I have. And so to me, this butterfly really represents something like that. Yes, I love that idea. Someone said in the chat to have more than one vision board for their different roles in their life. I agree. What are your goals for being yourself, your person? What are your goals in the world, in the community that you might be serving? So I'm going to flip through and find some of the things. And I keep going back to the things that make me happy, the favorite people and animals, and some of the answers that I have on my paper. And I'm kind of thinking through what are some images and words that kind of go with that. Sticker that says stay true. The person in the chat suggested um, a word cloud to get you started. I think that's a great idea. So if you're more of like a writer than a visual person, you can dump a bunch of words and thoughts and feelings and then see what kind of sticks out the most. Or also coming up with kind of a theme sentence for your board. I like that idea that was in the chat too. What is your overall kind of theme or sentence, mantra, affirmation for the year? I love the reminder of you are loved, always good for everyone all the time. Here's a good one for any of us who might struggle with people pleasing. It's okay to say no. It is okay. You do not have to volunteer for everything. You don't have to be in charge of everything. That's a nice feeling. I love this sticker pack. This is the one that I put on the list. But I really like all these little pink phrases with gold writing that just have lots of different sayings. Listen to your heart, loving, be kind to everyone, you're beautiful, be yourself. Lots of good affirmations, lots of good phrases and things in this sticker board. A word cloud is, I don't know. When I was a teacher, I was definitely in tune with word clouds, but I don't think I know of a website off the top of my head. So anyone feel free to join in and chat. But a lot of times there are free websites where you can put a bunch of words and then they take them and they kind of count up the number of times you say the word love or you say the word friend. And it kind of is a visual data way of gathering what is the most important to you. Or if you have a lot of people kind of adding into answering a question, if there's one answer that keeps coming up the most, they make that the largest in the word cloud. And then they might have some of the other words that only show up once or twice smaller. So it really is just a good visual representation. So it says in the chat that some people have created some on Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. Oh, I didn't know they had them now in Word and PowerPoint or wordclouds.com. See, this is a great crafting community. And just to write it on a piece of paper and see what happens from there too. So the link to the sticker pack, yes, Felicia has this particular sticker pack that she can grab for you and put into the chat. But I'm finding a lot of these. Oh, fortune cookies. Yes, and there's that one kind of tea. I want to say it's yogi tea that has a lot of different really nice sayings and things like that on it too. Those are nice to kind of gather and maybe use again.
Hey, Megan, show me that sticker pad again.
It is, I think this is the first page. And if not, this flower one also. Sorry, Felicia.
Because I do see that you added the midnight floral
I
stickers.
think this one is the Midnight Floral. I think it just doesn't have the fr- front
Okay,
page on it because I've already been using it in some of my other classes.
gotcha.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so someone's asking about some of the other classes. So I do teach on Thursdays and Fridays, and next week on Thursday, I will be teaching a new skill, origami. So if you've never tried origami, or if you are frightened by origami, you can join me on Thursday and I'll walk you through. Now, again, I used to teach high school and middle school math. So I taught high school football players how to fold origami. So if I can teach high school football players how to fold origami, I think I can teach you too. So please feel free to
Correction.
come to that.
Quick correction. You do
Yeah,
origami on
it's Friday.
Friday, and then Thursday is the knitting or your
Hand knit
Valentine
pillow.
pillow.
Yes. So if you've ever done hand knitting, or if you've never done hand knitting on Thursday, Felicia, Thursday is the hand knitting class, and
Yeah,
Friday is the origami.
yes.
That's why we're a tag team. We need each other. This other sticker pad, this is another one I got from Michael's from their Recollections. Again, I'm not sure what this name is, Felicia. I don't know. If you can find it, that would be great.
I tell you what, on the what's this? Can you see this? Is there a SKU number on it?
Yes, 95158 12919.
Mm. It didn't work for me, but I will take a look and see if I can find it.
Okay. I know I just got this one in the store the other day. So if you are in the store and browsing for which ones you like, you can always check out for this butterfly one. Has lots of sayings again, like the other one. Become the change today is a new day. Life is tough, but so are you. Yes, I want that one. You are enough. I also want that one. So I have taught a crochet class before too. And because Felicia and I have been doing these classes on Thursdays and Fridays for about a year now, they're probably a collection of about 90 different classes. So if you've been enjoying this class and you want to try and check out a different hobby or a different kind of craft, I do a lot of kind of these mindful activities also. So we have an art journaling class, we have a junk journaling class, we have lots of different things to kind of keep it in the same space of being really thoughtful and intentional. And then coming up in the future too, in February, I have a class where I'm going to teach you how to do some affirmation cards. Um, so again, if you're kind of into this space of kind of self-improvement and just feeling good and doing something creative and colorful, you can use some of these. And then because I have stacks and stacks of these, I can always add these kind of things onto my vision board too. Someone else had mentioned before they're going to take some of their watercolor and kind of rip it up. So yes, I just started my crochet journey about a year ago. So I'm still more of a beginner crocheter myself. So the crochet classes that I teach are definitely for beginners. So if you're interested in that, I would love for you to find any of those videos or to sign up for any of my future crochet and knitting classes as well. So this affirmation card class is coming up in February. It might not be available for sign up yet, but it will be available in the near future. And so that's something that you can sign up for. Card making classes for Valentine's Day. Definitely jewelry. Yesterday we had a class where we learned how to do charm bracelets because that's a very popular, trendy thing to do right now. And I focused on how to throw a party with a bunch of people. So like buy a bunch of charms, buy a bunch of things, kind of get together, and then everybody design their own charm bracelets together. So I love a group of friends. I love a group of crafty friends that want to kind of do some good time together. All of those are good for you too. Ooh, in this butterfly one, there's a lot of these great words also. I like this one. It says, be weird. Yep, check. I'm gonna do that. see the good. And I'm going to continue to work on my vision board, and I will be posting more of my finished vision board on my personal Instagram, which is the number 4M Coleman. These butterfly stickers are at Michael's. If you go to Michael's and you search Recollections stickers on our website, you'll be able to see several of these different packs. So you can buy whichever pack kind of screams your name or feels like it might go with your theme or your intentions. We are kind of wrapping up for today. I'm going to keep working on this, and then my finished project I'm going to post on my personal Instagram, which is the number 4M Coleman. And you can check mine out. If you get a vision board done today and you feel comfortable sharing it, I'd love for you to tag us at Learn with Michael so that we can all kind of see what you created. And even if you don't want to share, if you just want to kind of comment and share this class with other people, that would be great too. So we are kind of wrapping up. If there's any last minute questions, Felicia definitely can put the 4M Coleman in the chat. So thank you, Felicia, for that.
And really quick,
And
while we're doing that, because I see someone said that they found a lot of your classes on YouTube, I
yeah,
do want to let you know that there are a lot of classes. I don't even want to put a number on it, but there are several classes. We've been doing online classes for about 4 years,
yeah,
if not more now.
yeah,
So definitely there are just about anything that you can
you
think
can
of
imagine.
that
And if
there's a
there's
class
not, we're
for.
probably on our way to making one pretty soon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, let me really quick, I'm going to put um Megan's handle
it's
back into the chat.
4M Coleman. And that's mine. And you can kind of flip through my Instagram. And a lot of what I put on my Instagram are classes that I've done for Michael's. So you can see the charm bracelet class that I did yesterday. You can see some of the hand knitting and some of the blankets and different things that I've made, the origami class coming up, all those sorts of things too. So it's been such a pleasure. I'm so glad that so many of you took the time for yourself today to really have this good reflection and have this good time for yourself to think about where you want to go and where you are. So I hope that all of you had fun. I definitely had a great time, and I can't wait to see you again in another class soon. Bye, everyone.